Okay. The time is 8:04 and once again, welcome to another Sunday of Design with you. I want to also say again, happy Easter. Okay, today we'll be having David Ukauwa. Oh my god, I hope I pronounced that right, David. Did I pronounce that right, please?
You tried. You tried.
Okay, thank you. David is a product designer at Grain HQ. He specializes in mobile design, visual design, UX design, and research. Today, he'll be taking us on the topic how to conduct and document user interviews. David, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Um. First question: how many minutes is this meeting before I start going overboard?
Usually within an hour, but if you have a lot to teach us, the floor is
Hmm?
yours. Just teach us.
Okay. Um. Hi everyone. As you said, my name is David Ukuawa. I'm a product designer. I have about 6 years of experience designing digital products. Currently, I work at Green HQ. Grain is a repository of Zoom recordings. So it's a tool that's also going to be useful in user research, which I'm going to show you guys how to use towards the end of this talk. Um, and I might be looking towards this side a lot. That's because my screen is here, and that's what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to go right into it. One of the first things that you should think about while you're conducting your user research is the timing, because what you're probably going to be doing is you're going to be sending out emails to people asking them if they are free to talk to you, so they could then validate your ideas and stuff. So I want to talk about ideal timing first. For me, the um the for me the ideal time is usually between like 45 minutes. I find that like 30 minutes is too small, an hour is too long, so you have to like appreciate people's time. So I usually like schedule them between 45 minutes. The first like 10 minutes usually for like introductions, the last five is for like um outros and all that. So yeah, ideal time. You have to figure out like the ideal times for your users. And that thing that is a problem is sourcing. So especially within like small teams, um sourcing people to actually do interviews with you is actually like a very big deal. Especially because you have to find people within the actual segments that you want to do that research for. Um, and you can't expect like people in like a small team to deliver like best in class research and still do best in class product design. So there are some tools that can help you source people better. So it's mostly those tools I'll be explaining and kind of walking you guys through today. Um, One which I won't go through, but I'll just talk about now is customer.io. So by customer.io, customer.io
Okay, guys, I think something might be up with David. Let's give him a minute. Please hold on.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You went off before.
Yeah, Nigerian internet. I was saying like making sure that you get in touch with your marketing team, or at least like people who reach out to customers directly. When you talk to them, you realize that they use certain tools to actually segment users to send out like emails and stuff like that. One of those tools is customer.io. So customer.io can help you like segment your users to say that people who finished the sign up process, or like people who are active users, you can then like segment them into different groups based on what you want. So currently in my company we have someone who we assigned to like send out emails to those segmented users for us to then invite them for calls with the design team. But let's say you don't have that much process. Yeah, there's another tool called userinterviews.com. which I'm going to go over. Yeah. So um yeah, I'm going to open that right now. I already opened my tabs already of things I want to show you. So oh, I meant to share my screen. Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. So like this is the primary tool that I use or like my team uses for user research criteria by company. It's called userinterviews.com. You probably won't be able to access it without a VPN from Nigeria because of reasons best known to them. But here, as you can see, we have different like user research sessions that we've already conducted or scheduled for the future. So I'm just going to like guide you through how we create these sessions and how you can get specific users for whatever it is you want to test. So as you can see, this is like the dashboard. You can see participants that we have as one that we have talked to earlier. So like these are people who we have already spoken to, and they are qualified based off of the requirements that we sent out on this platform. So you could just come in here and also like reach out to people you've reached out before, and like ask them questions because they would be more like they are more inclined to know what it is you're doing. But let's say you want to like start off afresh, yeah, and and you want to create a user interview. You could just come in here and like start, like click on this and then start a fresh one. But what I like to do is I like to duplicate what we've already set before. The reason why I'm duplicating this and not starting afresh is because we've already set out like some some um some screenings questions that we send out to these people to take before we then select them for our interviews. I'm going to show you that stage, but just want to let you know. So like this is the first page. So you basically set out the project title and the public title. So your public title is meant to be something that will drag people into like whatever it is that you want to test on. So you'll be like, oh, do you love video messaging? I'd like to speak to you. So that will be listed on like the public platform for those people to click on. Then you have like a more internal project title, which will be more direct into what you want to test on. So you could be like, oh, screen recording testing or something like that. So we have a description that we already use in our team. So I'm not going to change this, and you can define specific requirements that you need them to have. So like a computer with a webcam, or if it's just a smartphone that you need to test like an app or stuff like that. So let's say we finish with this page and we save and continue to the next one. Then you have to set the time. Like I said, like 45 minutes is kind of like the sweet spot that we've kind of found is best for people so they don't get too tired and you don't give us like shitty answers and all that. So you set your time, you set your meeting link. I think direct connected to my Zoom. So that's what's in here already. And we set an incentive. So it's not compulsory that you have to incentivize your users, but we just kind of find that it's better to give back people that are giving us quality feedback. So currently on my team, I think we give like $100 to our users and $45 to people who are outside our team. So let's say you pick 45 and you put the session instructions for just the calendar link that we sent out to them, and you continue. You can then pick like a specific country you want people to test your product from, and you can now set criteria for these particular people. So you want like so based off of like the persona that you're trying to appease. Let's say like majority of people are within the ages of like 20 to 30. You can limit the kind of people that would come to this that would see this particular posting. You could also like specify gender, technical characteristics and the rest. But basically this would just like filter down people that would see this particular job. Let's say we filter everything and we move on to the next one. This would be the screener survey that would then like automatically filter people for you. So you don't want people who just want to come and like take your free incentives and just give you like cheating answers and go. You want people who are actually going to be useful and give you quality feedback. So these survey questions are basically things that will make you um narrow down the people that are coming here. So here we like say like, do you primarily use Zoom? I said my company is built on top of Zoom. So if you're not using Zoom, then you're not going to be like useful to us. So we basically just say if you're using Zoom, yes, accept them. If not, like reject them. And we have like other criteria like how frequently you record meetings, if you use Google Suite to link your calendar to the platform, and if you have frequent meetings every day. Um, you can see that like these two questions here are yes or no questions. They make sense in this particular scenario because we actually really want to cut you out if you're not going to use Zoom. But in reality, you probably should like stay away from questions that are very direct, like yes or no questions. You should you should kind of like make it less leading, like that could like take them out of like kick them out, so that they don't just lie. So let me give an example. If you want to say if you want to test an app that was on the iPhone, you might have said like, oh, do you use an iPhone? Yes or no? The person will probably speak yes. But if you phrase the question like, um, what mobile device do you use? You use an iPhone, an Android, a Windows, or none. They then like can be more truthful, and you can learn them like filter them more properly. But like in cases like this, we just use like yes and no here because like we really want to filter them out in this case. So let's say you finish setting your screener questions, which will be dependent on the product your individual products that you're going to be testing. The next thing that you're going to do is actually now schedule your calls with them. So here we said like eight participants, and we give ourselves manual control. So when these people take this that screener survey before, it doesn't automatically like assign them calls. We then like can now go deep into their profiles and then like make sure that we really want these particular people before we then like assign them to us. Because we can't just train money up and down. So you set your calendar. Mine isn't linked, but if it was linked right now, you see like my schedule and free spaces. You could then like to pick different slots for the calls. So you have to pick more slots than um the participant you have, so like you have like enough like space for everybody. Once you've done this, then you can now review and put out this research ad. Um so yeah, these are like the details that have um what we went through, like a summary of everything, and then you have to actually like pay your incentives first and all that. Let me see. Let me just no, I'm not going to do it on my company card. But yeah, from here you can now like publish that and it's now like show on the public side for um for them to join. So now let me show you how it will look like when people have requested to be interviewed. Yeah. So you now see like, oh, the percentage of like what you want. So if like you answered all the questions correct, probably have like 100% match, and probably the ones that failed probably have like less. So the people at the top probably be like the best people you can pick from, and then you can now see like more information about them. Um, let's see this person. Okay, this project is already completed, so we don't have too much information. Okay, I think it's enough here. So you can see like the answers to the questions that you put out and their characteristics, so like how their persona basically, and you can then like figure out whether like they match what you want, or the kind of person that you want to talk with. Then we would have seen like a message to approve them to join our user research call. um Yeah, so basically that would just like send them a that just basically send them like a link and a scheduled time for them to talk to them. You could then like rate them and save them afterwards if they were very useful to you. So you could just like talk to them directly later all on this platform. Um yeah. There's also like this other thing here which I don't currently use called Research Hub. So you remember when I at the beginning of this call I talked about how with customer IO you could import your you could target like specific users you want in segments and send out emails to them. So I think this is like it just came out of like beta recently, and you can now create. Sorry, go back. You can then actually like import your own users into this platform through like CSV. Um, Let me confirm this. Like through like CSV and all that. I currently haven't used this yet, but it's just something that you could do. So you could import your own users into this platform and incentivize them and pay them and collect everything all on this place here. But now let's go like into the actual interviews. Yeah. So I am going to show you this um kind of like a template, but it's kind of like the last user interview that was conducted. So um sorry for saying a lot also. Yeah. So it's always best for you to like write a script of what you want to say. Currently, I even have a script of what I'm talking about right now on my iPad. But you should always write a script so that you don't really go off point and you can make sure that you hit all the points that you wanted going into that call. So here on my general template, I have do's and don'ts um that I need to do while in a call. Always ask follow-up questions to make sure that you are clear on what it is your interviewee is saying. Always ask to observe them if they are testing stuff. So always tell them to share their screen so you can figure out how it is they're actually using this product that it is that you want them to test. And also try to look for a story. So you should try to stay away from yes and no replies and try to make them like explain stuff so you could see things in their own perspective. Because basically what we're trying to do, we're trying to empathize with them and put ourselves in their shoes. So we want as much story as we want from them. Now things to avoid. Um Asking about like future behavior of what it is that you're saying to them is going to they're probably going to like lead you astray and start asking you for things that they probably can't do. So we try to keep them within like a frame. Um Also avoid putting thoughts into their head. So avoid leading them and forcing them to actually agree with you. And don't ask for feedback. Do not ask for direct feedback on your product to them. What I mean by this is like if I'm talking to you now and I'm asking you like or if I ask you guys about how was this talk, you probably won't hurt my feelings and say that I was talking too fast or something. You probably like want to cushion the blow. So they can't really be true to you when you ask them for stuff like that face to face. Probably like a random anonymous survey that probably would be what you would have used to get like um actual feedback from them. Now, what I like to do before getting into calls is to set goals for those calls. So these goals are I write the goal and I frame it in a question that I can ask myself after the call. They're not questions you ask them, they are questions that you ask yourself to make sure that everything that you needed in this call was checked off. So let's say that we have like a new thing that I want to test in our product call streams or channels, yeah, and want to know like how well does it provide organization, how well does it organize content for organizations, yeah. If I can validate this question at the end of the user research session, then that means that I did it correctly. I also have a few other questions which you can then set based off of the product it is that you are validating. Now into the actual interview guide, yeah. The first part is usually like an introduction and you give a name, yeah, and just basically tell them like how you got them, like so. This particular interview guide was for a meeting with a co-worker, like a meeting with users that a coworker had previously talked to. So I just said, like, oh, I got like the information from my coworker, and I really liked the feedback I gave him before, and I'd like you to like talk to me as well. So basically, like, introducing yourself and making them feel comfortable. Yeah, asking them if you can record their screen, record your screen, and just like warming them up. Now, into the actual warm up, yeah, you then give them like a background of your company and um, what it is that they are going to be testing for you. So, telling them about the product, probably how big your team is, and stuff like that. Then you now get into the main body of the user interview itself. So at this point, you're now going more granular. So previously you told them about like what the company is doing. Right now you're going into like the feature it is that you want to test. So you're like, oh yeah, we have this new concept that we're trying to test, like this and this, and we'd like you to like give us some feedback on whether you think this makes sense. Basically, you're telling them that does this make sense? You're trying to validate the idea first, yeah. So now, I this particular call is broken down into two sections: a validation stage, and a testing stage. So first, I want to ask them, like, show them the actual product, and like try to try to understand what they think that thing is. Like, try to not trying to lead them, but try to make sure that this can be useful to them, how they think it might work, and like um just basically getting their whole like getting their head into it and trying to see how they think about it naturally. Because you want your products to actually like feel very natural to people. So this is like the first stage to what you want to do. The next thing that you would then ask or you would then start to get into is the actual products. So this is when you probably be evaluating a concept. So this is when you then be showing them stuff and or probably like letting them go through stuff and guiding them when need be on how to do specific actions. And then see their reactions to those stuff, and like jotting stuff down while still asking them important questions like, um, would you find value in this or this? Would you rather have it this way or that way and stuff like that? There's not like one specific there's not one specific like user interview guide, but it's depending on whatever feature it is they're showing these people. After after you've gotten that feedback from them, then you probably just wrap up and tell them that it was nice talking to them, and you reach out to them if you have any other problems like that. But now this is where documenting this particular call comes in. So it's probably recorded on this call as well. But what my company does is that we we give you a recorder that you can add into meetings, and it automatically transcribes um these calls for you. So you could go back and actually read the transcript of everything they said. You probably wouldn't pick up everything that the user said at that point, so you probably need to go back to the calls. So I'm going to give you an example now. So this is the user research call with somebody that one of my teammates conducted, yeah, and we have a transcript of everything that was said, breaking it down by the person's name, like the people that were talking, yeah. So from this call, you can then select different highlights. Yeah. Like you could highlight a particular portion that was said that validates those goals that I talked about earlier. So you could create a highlight like this. And where is my highlight? Sorry. Sorry. So you create a highlight here, and you can then name that highlight on the side here and like put a description or a tag to it that will be useful for you to go back and like a reference. So the reason why highlighting is good is because like most of the core probably be like haphazard and like going left and right, but you really want to just pick out the different points, especially when you're passing these points back to stakeholders. They don't really care about like nobody's going to watch is going to watch like is going to watch 5 1 hour or 45 minutes calls with you. So you want to like pick out different points that you can then share with people to prove validation on the ideas that it is um you were testing for. So you can see here we could just copy this particular link that was the highlights and then paste it into our Slack channel anywhere, or even we could even embed it into a a Notion doc to make it more accessible to everybody in a team. So that's like if you want to share specific highlights to people. But now let's say, well, currently at my team, we have like design team meetings every Wednesday. So if we did research here, we'll probably present it to the entire product team, probably some like engineering managers, to try to validate, to try to also like show them the validation we got from users on this feature and why we should actually build it. Because it's not everything that you just like think of. You have to that um that the entire team might go with and might want to build. So also what we do is that like all these highlights, yeah, from different calls that we have made, we then clip them together into a story and share it with that team. So you see like I've created highlights of this particular call in this place here. Fuck. But you could then like create a story in the same platform here of different highlights from different calls and turn it into one particular call. So this is like um this is the timeline of this video and it's like 27 minutes and it is probably from like 15 calls. But we only like picked out the most important things. So you could like come in, this will probably be at the top if you're starting newly. And you could add the highlights and you could select like different points, like different these are titles of different highlights I've created from different videos. And you could then like add them into this board and you could drag them around. You could drag them like around and structure them. Let's move that back and structure them how you want. You could also add different titles to different sections so that when this video is being played to those stakeholders, they can understand what they're looking at. So you see that like first of all, we talked about validation of the idea first, and we put out different highlights for validation from different customers. Then concerns that the customer had on that call. Then the actual like product and points in the actual product points I wanted to like touch on and then like put below this. So if I was playing this video to a stakeholder, yeah, it would then show up like this. Firstly, you can see that it's broken down into like different different sections, like based off of the sections that I created in the story. So if they're playing this now, they could see like an intro, which is the story, the section title,
Yeah, yeah. So,
and then actual
my
clips or highlights from those videos. So this is, and we could then like also document this particular things in like a folder, so everyone can always go back and figure out like why did we do this feature self, or what was the validation for this, and go back to this video and look at that. Yeah. So this video can then be shared across your team and stored in like different document folders for future references. Um, what else do I want to talk about? Um, sorry, let me check my. Yeah, I think I'm not sure how I used 30 minutes, so that's not long. But basically, this is the process that I currently use to conduct user interviews within my team. And I hope
sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
sure. And I hope this has been able to like give you an idea or kind of like guide you into how you can also create this structure within your team. I'm going to go back to the call and allow anybody to ask me questions in case you have any.
Okay, thank you, David. Please, if you have questions, send them to the chat. I think I have. There's one question. Someone sent a question already. Okay. Someone asked, when asking their feedback on your product, is it advisable to do a sort of comparison between your product and a competitor's product with focus on what feature they like and why?
Yes, totally. So you could even like in those survey questions, you could even like give them You could even give them a broad question like, "What's your favorite Zoom recording app and why?" Because you actually want to like understand why it is like they like that particular your competitors and try to like it's called competitor analysis. Yeah, you're just trying to understand like what did they do best and what did they do the worst, and try to like do the good things and keep away from the bad things. So if they are trying to put comparison into something else, is it even actually good for you? Because you could then like actually go test those other stuff. So yes, that's not a bad thing. I hope I
Okay.
was also when I was speaking. Was I?
Okay. Um. Okay. There's no other question, but you guys, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat. And while we wait, could you make available the materials you used in teaching today?
Yes, I would have to strip some stuff away from the interview guide, but I can share that with you after.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We'll reach out to you to get it.
Okay. Um,
I
I
don't
don't.
think there's any other
I'm not hearing
question.
of anyone. Was I speaking too
Okay.
fast? Was
Yes.
the was that okay? Was like the call
You
okay?
said? Yeah, it was okay, but like there's one question now.
Okay.
Okay. Eugene said, I have been in some interview sessions where researchers ask the users what they want or need. Is that advisable?
Um.
He's asking
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah. That's
advisable.
like it's advisable if you so like you could ask them like what they need within like a specific like a specific feature, a specific idea, but don't make it too broad. If not, they'll start leading you away from what it is you're asking them. So if you can construct the question in such a way that it's still within like a frame, then asking them what they need isn't so bad. You get what I mean?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you today. You were awesome.
You're welcome.
And I think that's all for today. And guys, you are going to get the research materials as soon as David sends them to us. We'll be posting them in our newsletter. You can follow us on Twitter and sign up to our newsletter. Our Twitter is the you can see our Twitter handle in the chat. So follow us on Twitter, sign up to our newsletter, and as soon as David sends us the material, we'll be posting the newsletter with it in there. Also, follow us on YouTube where you can get recordings of this meeting and other meetings we've held. If you did not join the call on time, you can get recordings of this meeting. Thank you very much, David.
You're welcome. Nice talking to all of you.
It was nice having you. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.